and welcome to an exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ryan, your host. Now, before I get on review, I actually have changed the area where I'm going to record the video. So, I'm in a different spot right now. Normally I was by my computer, but I did some renovation in the room, and I decided to film it in this spot. If you guys like this spot, let me know in the comments, but I think going forward, I'm going to like it here. So, I had two light bulbs on. I turned one off because I got better lighting. So I think I'm probably going to like it, but let me know in the comments if you do like it here. Now, let's talk about tonight's movie. Now, this is a movie that I had in my collection for a while. This is actually my second or third time watching. I watched this on my own throughout, well, April, which is Universal month. That's when the studio launched. So, the movie that I'm checking out this time is a movie that stars my favorite rap duo, Outkast. And the two members of Outkast are Andre Benjamin, Antoine Patton. The movie also has Paula Patton, Terrence Howard, Faisal Love, Miranda Williams, Cicely Tyson, Macy Gray, Ben Vereen, Bruce, along Patti LaBelle and Ving Rhames, released by Universal alongside HBO Films, 2006 Idlewild, or the title says Idlewild, music by Outkast. We're just going to ignore the music by Outkast because I guess they called it the music by Outkast because obviously the songs are performed by Outkast, but a lot of people don't know who Outkast is. Now, I'm a huge fan of Outkast. I've been a big Outkast fan since middle school. They were the reason I got into rap. They were more like a combination of rap and R&B. They had so many good albums. They had a few good ones. I forget. They had Sweekinin was one. They had, before this, they had Speakerboxxx and Love Below. Well, Idlewild was the rap duo's last time. Basically, it's their swan song. So they took the idea of the album with Speakerboxxx, Love Below, and Idlewild would be the band's the duo's final album. I guess you can call them a band. But yeah, now that I got away, what did I think of Idlewild? I liked it. I thought Idlewild was really, really good. So let's actually talk about the movie. So I'm going to put that right there since I don't have anything to put in place. Idlewild focus on Big Boy and Andre 300. Big Boy is Antoine A. Patton, and Andre Benjamin, which is Andre 3000. So the two men play Perseus and Rooster. The film starts with Rooster as a young man. He's basically sort of making extra money. He's conning people. This is taking place during the Prohibition era. So yeah, and basically he works up. He meets up with a man played by Ving Rhames. I thought was his grandfather, but was not. So Perseus, he's another guy, and the two men met when they were children, and they grow up and they form this nightclub called Idlewild. So basically, this is during that era, and the two men, Faisal Love and Ving Rhames, they're two pro-gangsters, and they basically meet up with Terrence Howard, who basically plays this sort of, he's this con artist, but he's sort of a dirtbag at times. I wouldn't say dirtbag, but he was basically a POS, a piece of work. So it starts out he's like this kind guy, but basically turns out he meets up with the two men go and meet up with him, and basically they get set up by him, and essentially Ving Rhames and Faisal Love basically get shot by Terrence Howard's character. I'm not sure what his name is in the movie. I don't know. I think Traces? I think that's his name. I'm kind of butchering that, but he basically, Traces shoots the two men because he got rigged out of money. So Rooster witnessed the two guys getting killed, the two gangsters. So the two men get shots. That's not spoiling. That's essentially how they get shot. They get killed. And that's not spoiling. That's at the most of the beginning. So that, and now Rooster meets up with Traces, and he tells him about, if you work for me, I need the money. So he hands him the money, and the money that makes from the gigs there, he has to pay him every time. And just again, but they realize he's just conning him out of money. So it just gets crazier and crazier. And that's really the gist. And by the way, this is a musical. Most of the songs to this are from the Speaker Box Love Below album. So if you listen to that album, you'll know. Like, for example, a couple scenes in the movie, there's the first music number, which is Bow Tie. That's off of Speaker Box Love Below. That wasn't even on the soundtrack. That was in the movie. So it's a great song. Speaker Box Love Below is an awesome album. If you haven't listened to that, give that a listen. I think, yeah. So that, and basically now he's trying to discover what's going on and what's happening. So he meets up Perseus, and he's sort of like an Undertaker, but he also plays piano at the Idlewild Club. But yeah, Patti LuPone, Patti LaBelle, I'm getting the two Patties mixed up, but Patti LaBelle plays a singer, and she does an R&B number, but she's the original Angel Divine, until they meet up with Paula Patton, who becomes Perseus's girlfriend, who basically, she becomes the new Angel Divine. And, no, Angel Davenport, I'm sorry, not Divine, Davenport. The original Angel Davenport trains her, and she just doesn't like that. And she gets super jealous of this new singer's taking over, and that's really her character. Then we get Macy Gray, who plays another singer at that club. Then we also get Ben Vereen, who plays Perseus Sr., Andre 3000's father. And then and then she's showing, well, actually, her girlfriend, her right there, she goes by a different name, I think Sally B. Sally. I think that's her name. So she goes by the new Angel Davenport. And she's super jealous, and she's all mad. And then pretty much that. So Rooster also has this flask that has a talking rooster. Talks sort of like, he sort of talks like in that chipmunk voice. But yeah, they do show a rooster, even though the rooster's on the front cover. I don't know if you can see it. I'm sorry for the glare, but that rooster, there's hardly any roosters. So that's really what the gist of that, of the flask that Ving Rhames gives him. So now he's figuring out what's going on. He realized, oh, I forgot to mention, Bill Nunn plays the mentor to Antoine Patton's character. So he gets beat up by Terrence Howard's men. And then he's looking like that, trying to find clues, because he was going to turn those guys into police until a guy points a gun to his back. There's a lot of slow motion shots. I've got to mention this movie has slow motion shots. But basically he gets stumbled in there, and he gets a gun pointed in the back of his neck, and he's pushing there, and we get one giant fight. I'm not going to tell you how the outcome at the end is, so I'm probably going to leave it there. So let's actually talk about the movie. What do I think of it? I think it's great. It's a fun movie. This is my second or third watch. I've seen this before, and I wanted to see this movie because I love Outkast. Outkast, like I said, are my favorite rap duo. I grew up with them, and a feature film featuring the two men sounds like a win-win situation. And yes, it does. But you really have to be a big Outkast fan to really like this movie. Even if you're not an Outkast fan, you might still want to check this movie out. It's a great story. And, oh, I forgot to mention, Terrence Howard's character is almost similar to Daniel Craig's character in Road to Perdition. Let's talk about Road to Perdition. Daniel Craig was in that movie. He played a sort of dirtbag similar to him. But I think Terrence Howard does a better job, that type of character, and he's more aggressive, and he gets stuff done. Like, when he wants money, anytime they make money in the Idlewild, he has to give him the money so he doesn't get screwed over. This movie is just so good. It's a musical, and there's a ton of songs. It gets very dark, and I could tell you how the outcome comes. But let me tell you, it's very dark, and I think it almost made me cry at times. But still, regardless of that, it's still a strong movie. The shootouts are great. It's not boring. It keeps you glued to the very end. The slow motion shots, like when they show, sometimes a gun will fly in the air, and like you can see the inside of a gun, you'll see slow motion how a gun fires. It's great, great stuff. And the slow motion, the dance numbers, the songs, all top rate. This movie could easily got Oscars. Terrence Howard he should have been at least nominated for an Oscar for this. He could have got the Best Supporting Actor nomination. It's that good. I'm not lying when I say this, but like I said, you gotta be an Outcast fan to really like this movie. And though sometimes it feels like a music video, but the cinematography and camera effect is good. Like sometimes they'll have the slow motion shots, sometimes they'll tilt the camera and spin it like that. Like there'll be there's a scene where Perseus is like sleeping, and then sometimes the bed will float like that, then it will go there, then it will go that. There's a scene where he has a premonition, like he's dreaming, like he has this premonition of what's going to happen, something happens to me. The shootout near the end of the movie is heartbreaking, but chilling at times. It's very sad. And I was like, wow. I think literally tears are coming down my eyes because it's so sad. Like, that scene alone was not easy to get past. And I can tell you right now, the scene right there makes me think of the way I watch a film. Also, the movie reminds me of those 40s and 50s movie musicals. Kind of similar to a lot of those old musicals. I think this was during the time of the talkies. So it kind of reminds me of that at times. And it's really cool to see Universal alongside HBO Films make a masterpiece of a film. This movie is a masterpiece, and it's not for everybody. Like I said before, you gotta be an Outcast fan to really get into this movie. If you're an Outcast fan, definitely check out the movie. Go give Iowa a watch. If you're not a fan of Outcasts, I say still check it out, because honestly, with Terrence Howard and the rest of the cast is great. I wanted to mention the scene where Perseus is talking to Perseus Sr. So the scene right there is great. Ben Vereen is actually really good in this. And he actually was a singer-dancer, if you did not know. He was in the TV movie Roots as Chicken George. But I was like, that's Ben Vereen? Wow. I was like, yeah. Or if you watch that PBS edutainment series, Zoobilee Zoo, he was in that too. So yeah, it's really good. I'm surprised he didn't even sing the movie, because he actually sang in an episode of Reading Rainbow, which is really good. So he's really good as well. The whole cast is just solid. I think I already talked a lot about the praise this movie as much. So with that said, I'm gonna give Idlewild a 4 out of 5. Now, the reason I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 is I've seen this before, and I think Outcast fans, it's a must-see. Non-Outcast fans, you still might want to check it out because it's so good. It has a great story. Sorry about that, guys. It has a great story, and if you want to know the whole history of that era, like I said, it's taken during the Probation era. Check the movie out. So, yeah. That's all I have to say about this movie. So, that's my review of Idlewild. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like the content of the channel, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, so you get notifications of what videos I put out, what I post, and all that good stuff. But, yeah. I'm also on Letterboxd, guys, so you can check me out there as well. So, yeah. Like I said again, if you like the way I have this set up, since I renovated and decided, I think going forward, I'm going to start recording my videos right here going forward. So, yeah. So, like I said, if you guys like the way I have this new setup, let me know. So, yeah. Go check out Idlewild, guys. It's a really good movie. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.